Welcome back to What the Flick. I'm Matt Atchity, that's Alonso Duralde, and I'd like to introduce you to our very special guest, Gabrielle Dennis, who is starring in the upcoming season of Luke Cage, which drops on Friday the 22nd.
Yes.
You're playing a character named Tilda Johnson,
yes.
Also known as Nightshade from time to time.
That's
maybe,
what people say.
Sort of, maybe. Or at least that's the alter ego of Nightshade in the comics. We'll see what we get. But I like that we've seen a little bit of the Serpent Society show up in Luke Cage so far, and we'll see what else we get. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So tell us a little about who TV Tilda is, and what should we know about her?
Well, you know what's fun about Tilda is being a new character in this world and in this space in the Luke Cage series and in Harlem, and just kind of getting to learn her. The audience really goes on the journey because she's just now being placed here. The audience is going to go on the journey and like learn things about her that she doesn't even know about herself yet. So there's a lot of like dark secrets and family secrets, and even the fact that she's tied and linked in with Mariah Dillard, being her mother. Like that's obviously a lot different from the comic books, right?
Okay.
So there's going to be a lot of twists and turns this season that I cannot. I finally watched all 13 episodes last week, and I was like, like I just want to tell everybody everything. And I know that like the Netflix and Marvel snipers are somewhere, but it's so good. Yeah, she's just interesting. I mean, she starts off with this very kind of soft-spoken. She's a strong woman, you know. She's an entrepreneur. She's very smart, and she runs this holistic medicine shop where she kind of takes care of the community. And then her mother plops in her life out of nowhere, and then things kind of get a little murky.
I think we have a clip to watch, right? Let's take a quick look at this clip from season 2 of Luke Cage.
You here for pain reliever?
No. I was actually wondering if you might have sold something in one of these recently.
Well, yeah. Anytime I sell dried herbs, which is many times a day, I usually back it up in one of those.
This would have been to a large Jamaican man.
Those are half my customers. Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Do you know where your strength comes from?
Well, it's a long story, wrapped up in a lot of baggage.
Sometimes when we unpack baggage and repack it, it's not as heavy. Wanna give it a try?
Ooh, sparks fly.
I don't think he was buying anything I was saying at first, though. He was just kind of giving me that eye.
Now this reminds me, because y'all look amazing in that sequence. There's been discussion in the last couple of years about how there are cinematographers who do and don't know how to shoot Black performers. And now obviously, you know, you've just come off of Luke Cage, you were on Rosewood, you were on The Game, you've done some Insecure. So obviously you've worked with a lot of people who know what they're doing in that respect. I'm wondering if you can now tell, if it's something that's obvious to you while you're shooting or only in looking at it later, like this person knows what they're doing, this one doesn't.
Some actors know, like right in the moment. You know, I would imagine the likes of an Alfre Woodard who like, she knows her stuff, you know, and she'd be like, nope, this light doesn't feel right, you know? Me, I only notice it typically if I'm watching something.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, unless it's like really bad. I'm like, guys, I can't even see, you know, but usually, yeah, it's been good.
Interesting.
Now, is it different? How different is it doing something like Luke Cage where you're not gonna see it till it's all done, as opposed to something like Insecure or Rosewood, where they're not, you know, you'll do an episode and 3 or 4 weeks later, the audience gets to see it and you, like, there's a rhythm to it.
Yeah.
Whereas this one,
all drops together.
Probably, like, wouldn't you guys stop filming?
Yeah, it's very draining emotionally. It's just like, you know, but the whole process, because everything's so top secret, you know, it's like when I got the job, it was so exciting. It's like you hear those 3 words you want to hear, welcome to Marvel. And then it's like, but you can't say anything, you know? And then you're just like I just kind of went like on social media, I went dark like for like 2 straight months because I didn't want to mess up and accidentally say anything. Not even my mother, I didn't tell my mother, I told nobody. And I have friends who's like, what? Yeah, because I don't know who my mother knows. It's like, well, I don't know who you know in your prayer circle, I don't know. But you can mess around and tell Miss Jenkins, and then the next thing I know, the whole town knows. So I was just like, I was like, let's just kind of keep it down. But yeah, it's just very, it's different in that because it's so top secret. You can't reveal who you're playing. You can't reveal, timelines, locate, like nothing. At least on like a network show that they want you to engage the audience. They want you to kind of say, this is what we're doing. This is behind the scenes. But people are so smart when they watch these shows. They don't want to see anything and like put clues together and figure out what's going on.
Well, I imagine it's a little different too because you'll do a show and like the first episode will premiere and you're probably shooting like 4 or 5 episodes down, but you start to get feedback earlier than you would on something like this.
Exactly, yeah, you're just kind of dropping it all out and like, hope you guys like it. It's like at least there's room for adjustments and things like that. But what I think what's so great is that Marvel is so good at knowing what the audience is needing, and because there's such this blueprint with the comic books and with all the other series, I think honestly, I feel like season 1 was just an appetizer on this series. Like when I tell you season 2 turned up the heat so much, like between personal opinion, I know you guys are, I know you guys have a job to do, but I feel like with the action, with the strong women that are represented in the show, Alfre Woodard, oh my gosh, just give her all the awards now. Just hand them on over. She's amazing, right? Bow down. The twist, there's so many unexpected twists. Like even my nosy partner, he watches and he's just like, I can figure out everything. And we got him at least twice, and he's so freaking nosy. And he can usually figure things out, but like, yeah, it's just a lot of fun. It's a good series. And I feel like I feel like a lot of times people were saying last season felt a little slower as far as the pacing. This season, I feel like the pacing's great. And I feel like the one time we take a break, it's so you can breathe and get some information. And it's a great episode and some powerful scenes that are gone. So I'm very proud of the season.
Now, before you got the gig, were you versed in the sort of Netflix corner of the Marvel universe and this and Jessica Jones and all the Defenders?
Yeah, I mean, I was ever since Daredevil came out.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, so I had no idea that in my future I would be a part of that.
Nice.
Yeah, but I was watching since Daredevil and Jessica Jones kicking ass and so yeah. It's fun. It's just a fun thing to be a part of.
Now, do you know if you're going to be going to San Diego this year for the big show?
I don't know. I don't know anything. I never know anything until the last second. But no, I hope so. That would be a lot of fun.
That's a whole crazy scene.
Yeah, that'll be a whole lot of fun. I mean, hopefully by then, the audience will then have seen and I can actually say some things.
Okay.
Oh, by Wednesday they'll have seen it. Trust me.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. So what's next for you? Now that this is done, what else do you have in the pipeline that you're working on?
Well, this fall I'll be playing Whitney Houston in the Bobby Brown miniseries.
Whoa.
So yeah, it's a 2-nighter on BET. They had a successful hit with, they did the New Edition one last year. And so they're following up with that where it's almost like a part 2 to that film because it picks Bobby Brown's life up where he left the group and then up until present day.
Whoa.
So yeah, it covers a lot of bases.
Okay. Now I have one more question about Luke Cage, and I'm going to try and set this up so that you don't have to spoil anything. But is there a particular episode, a particular moment that you are really stoked for people to see in the show?
You know what? Unfortunately, it's towards the end.
Okay.
There's actually at least 2 huge reveals that I don't think people are waiting for. So if you can get to the end.
Gabrielle, I love that you're on brand, like telling people stick with the whole show.
Exactly.
No, but legitimately, you think that you've gotten a lot of good like little tastes and bites here and there. And then at the end, you're like, whoa! Yeah, I'm so excited. I can't wait for you guys to watch it. I would love to I'm gonna go on and log online and see what you guys have to say.
Well, we'll be here talking about it. So.
Well, Gabrielle, thank you so much for coming in. Gabrielle Dennis is gonna be on season 2 of Luke Cage. She's playing Tilda Johnson. That show, that'll start on Friday this week, June 22nd. This has been What the Flick. That's Alonso, I'm Matt. Join us later in the week. We'll talk about some of the new movies hitting theaters. Thank you.